Hello and welcome back to the Naked Expat channel. Today I'm going to talk about the expat man's ultimate Asian dilemma. If you haven't got a lot of time to listen to all of this, take this one key thing away with you. If you're over the age of 50 and you're a single Western guy looking to move to Asia, get a vasectomy before you get your flight ticket. Trust me, it will save you a lot of heartache and a lot of financial issues in the future. Best tip ever. Now, for those of you that have got time to listen to the rest of what I've got to say, here we go. What if the dream life that you're chasing in Asia is actually a trap? You've seen the videos, you've heard the stories, a life of freedom, adventure and connection that just seems impossible back home. But there's a side to this story that nobody talks about, a reality that blindsides countless men. A series of brutal, life-altering decisions you're forced to make, often without even realising it. These aren't small choices, they're fundamental questions about your future, your values, and your very identity. And if you get them wrong, the paradise you imagined can quickly become a prison of regret, financial ruin, and a loneliness that's hard to describe. Before you even think about booking a flight, before you even pack a single bag, you're standing at a crossroads. Down one path is the life that you want, and down the other path is a world of pain. The signs pointing the way are labelled with 3 words: family, fidelity, and finances. Most men walk right past them, completely oblivious. Today I'm going to talk about reading these signs and we're going to dissect them. We're going to look and ask the hard questions now so you don't have to live with the wrong answers later. Number 1 is the family fallacy. The first and maybe the most underestimated dilemma is family. You might be thinking, family? I'm single. I'm moving to Asia to be free and not to settle down. And that right there, buddy, is the trap. You're moving into cultures where family isn't just an important thing, it's the most important thing. The whole concept of family is the bedrock of society, and your casual Western approach to dating is about to collide with centuries of tradition. You're going to meet incredible women, smart, beautiful, kind women who see a future with you. And in that future, the question of kids isn't some abstract, maybe someday. It's a fundamental pillar of what life together even means. This isn't a conversation you can just put off for a few years. In many ways, it's a conversation that has already started. So the first question you have to answer with brutal honesty is, do you really want to have children? Don't give the easy answer. Don't say, oh, I'm open to it. If you know deep down you're not. This decision that deserves some deep, quiet thought is a very hard answer to say no to if you understand the weight of it. To knowingly enter into a relationship in a family-first culture like in Asia, knowing you'll eventually drop a bomb on your partner's biggest life goal is a unique kind of cruelty. You have to be upfront from the very beginning. Getting this one thing wrong is a guaranteed path to heartbreak. Next, you need to decide where you stand on dating women who already have children. This is a complex issue layered with cultural nuances. For some guys, dating a single mother provides a kind of stability. She might already have the children she wants, which could align perfectly because you don't want any more kids, or you don't want kids at all. It can be a mature, stable partnership, but you have to be aware of the cultural context. In some Asian societies, there can be a social stigma around being a single mother, which can put outside pressure on your relationship. You also have to be honest with yourself about stepping into the step-parent role, which comes with its own set of cultural expectations that might be totally different to what you're used to. Then there's the age gap. It's impossible to ignore. Relationships between older Western men and younger Asian women are so common, and in many places they're more culturally accepted than in the West. But that acceptance doesn't just erase the challenges. An age gap isn't just a number like you'll read on dating apps. Oh, age is just a number. Bullshit. An age gap is a gap in life experience, cultural references, energy levels, and long-term goals. When you're 55 or 65, your 25 or 35-year-old partner might be hitting their career stride, wanting to travel and socialise in ways that you stopped wanting to do years ago. When you're 70 and slowing down, she might only be like 30, 40 or 50 and still very much in the prime of her life. Is she really going to want to wipe your ass when you can? No. While tons of these relationships are built on real love and work out, you have to ask yourself if you are really ready for the reality of that 20, 30 or 40-year age gap. Are you really ready for that further down the line? And finally, think about education and language. A similar level of education can be a powerful bridge, creating deeper communication and shared values. It's not a hard and fast rule, but big differences can sometimes lead to mismatched expectations about life and money. You know, if you're well educated and you're involved with a pretty young peasant, you're going to have issues. And language isn't just a minor barrier, it's a brick wall. If your whole relationship is built around broken English or, God forbid, a translation app, how can you really work through any conflicts that you've got? How do you share your deepest fears or your biggest dreams? Building a life together needs a level of communication that goes well beyond just ordering dinner. Answering these questions about family isn't about killing the romance. It's about protecting it. It's about making sure that when you do find someone special, the foundation you build is on solid ground, not on unspoken expectations and future disappointments. Number 2, fidelity. Oh, here we go. All right, this is the big elephant in the room. You're a single man moving to a part of the world where, let's be honest, you're probably going to get more attention from women than you've ever had in your life. It can be intoxicating and it can feel like you've suddenly become a rock star. And this newfound attention is a double-edged sword. It can be a test and you need to be ready for it. The problem isn't the attention itself. It's what it does to your perspective. A lot of guys fall into the kid in a candy store syndrome. They show up with good intentions, maybe looking for real connections and a genuine girlfriend, but the sheer volume of options becomes overwhelming. Dating turns out to be a game of numbers. It's kind of like a sport. The focus shifts from quality of connections to quantity of romances. This is a dangerous mindset because it turns people into commodities and cheapens your own experience. You didn't move halfway around the world to become a worse version of yourself. You came, hopefully, to find a more fulfilling life. You have to understand that in many Asian cultures, fidelity isn't just a preference, it's the cornerstone of honor and respect, especially in a committed relationship or marriage. Cheating isn't just a simple mistake or a private issue. It can bring enormous shame, not just for your partner, but for her entire family. The idea of losing face is very real and has huge social consequences. It can also get you shot. A betrayal that might just lead to an angry breakup in the West could lead to a social exile and a ruined family, and even legal troubles in Asia. So you're not playing by Western rules anymore. Watch your back. So how do you pass this test? It starts with a radical self-honesty reality check long before you even meet anyone. You have to ask yourself, what am I really looking for? There's no right or wrong here, but you have to know your answer. Are you in a phase of your life where you just want to explore and date casually? If that's so, then that's perfectly fine. But be honest about it. Let people know you're not looking for a serious commitment. Leading somebody on who's operating under a completely different set of cultural rules or expectations is a recipe for disaster. If you're looking for a genuine monogamous partnership, you have to treat that goal with the seriousness it deserves. This means setting clear boundaries for yourself. The candy store doesn't just close because you're in a relationship. Temptations will always still be there. Your character is defined by the choices you make when you think no one is watching. Staying faithful is a conscious decision you have to make over and over again. Certainly in Asia, there's temptation around every single corner. Think about the real cost of betrayal. It isn't just a broken heart, it's destroying trust with someone who has probably invested a great deal of social and emotional capital in you. It's the damage to your reputation in both the expat and local communities. And trust me, those communities are smaller and more connected than you think. You've heard of the jungle drums, you've heard of Chinese whispers. Trust me, it's real. Word travels very, very fast. A reputation as a liar or a cheat in Asia will follow you and close doors you never even knew existed. Building a life in Asia is about building trust. It's about showing up as a man of integrity. It means being clear in your intentions, honest with your partner, and true to your commitments. The attention you get as a foreigner is fleeting and shallow. The respect you earn as a good man is permanent and priceless. Choose which one you want. Now, 3, financial mirage. Here's a big one, guys. The third great dilemma is what's called a financial mirage. You've been sold this idea that Asia is cheap. You've heard stories of guys living like kings for cents on the dollar. And while there's a grain of truth in it, it's dangerous to oversimplify things because that's led to countless exiles getting into financial ruin. Yeah, a bowl of street noodles is cheap, but as an expat, who wants to live on street noodles? The problem starts when you fail to separate the cost of local living with the cost of living an expat lifestyle. You aren't just going to live in a small room and eat local food every single day like the peasants do. You want a comfortable apartment or a house in a safe area. You want a gym, you want a pool, you want high-speed internet. You'll want to eat in restaurants that serve food from back home or certainly to an international standard from time to time. And you're going to want to hang out in nice bars with other expats from time to time. And probably travel around and see places on the weekend. Every one of these choices pushes your budget further and further away from what a local's budget is, and sometimes even way past what a Western cost of living would cost you. Let's get real for a second. The initial cost to just move can be staggering. You've got visa fees, complicated paperwork, visa runs every few months. You'll probably need to pay a huge deposit for an apartment, often several months of rent up front or buy new things when you're here. And this all adds up fast. And then there's a hidden cost of daily life which starts to creep in. Healthcare is a huge one. You can't just bet on staying healthy. One bad accident or illness can leave you with medical bills into the thousands and thousands of dollars. Good health insurance isn't an optional extra, it's absolutely critical. Unfortunately though, when you get very old in your 70s and 80s, you're not going to be able to insure yourself because the premiums are just ridiculous. Then you have to make sure you've built up a quite large contingency fund to cover your ass. Then there's banking fees. Using your bank abroad initially is very, very expensive until you set up yourself with local bank accounts. Then you have to figure out the local banking system and if it even works for you. That has its own rules and headaches. But here we go. The biggest financial trap for single men is a social life and a dating life. Dating costs money, dinners, drinks, movies, trips. And in many Asian cultures, there's a strong, often unspoken expectation that the man, especially Western men, is the provider. It isn't always malicious, it's just rooted in cultural norms where men are traditionally the financial pillar of the relationship. You might find yourself not only paying for dates, but also being subtly expected to pay your partner's expenses or even her family's. This can be a massive, unplanned drain on your money. So what's the solution? Well, a brutal dose of reality. You need to create a true cost budget. Forget the fantasy numbers, research the actual cost of living in a specific city that you're targeting. Use websites and expat forums to get to know the real numbers when it comes to rent, utilities, groceries, transportation. Then you have to add up expat specific costs like health insurance and visas and travel, both domestic and internationally. And then of course, you have to set a realistic dating budget. And most importantly, a non-negotiable emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. It's also wise to have a provider buffer. You need to acknowledge that this financial expectation exists, whether you choose to use it or not. And please do not stop saving for retirement. So many expats make this mistake. The high income or low taxes can feel like you've won the lottery if you're working as an expat. But it's a trap if you don't plan for your future. The party's going to end one day. And if you retire as an expat after earning a lot of tax-free income, but you've not built up a nest egg, you're going to essentially be buggered. You have to be consistently investing and saving, or you'll find yourself in your 50s and 60s with nothing to show for your time abroad but memories. The financial dream of Asia is real, but only for those who are disciplined. Manage your money wisely, and Asia can be a place where you can build serious wealth. Certainly if you are still working in Asia in a very, very tax-friendly environment. Here you are. In conclusion, there are many very real ways in which to benefit from moving to Asia. These three pillars that define your entire life as an expat are extremely important. The family, the fidelity, and the finances. These aren't just ideas, they are urgent, practical questions that you need to answer right now. These are the differences between a man who builds a life of genuine happiness in Asia and a man who becomes another cautionary tale, broke, alone, and full of regret. The romance of Asia is powerful, but real fulfillment isn't found by blindingly chasing a fantasy. It's about building a life with your eyes wide open, with a deep understanding of yourself and the culture you're stepping into. It's about having the guts to answer the hard questions before they become hard realities. Now, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from guys that have already become expats. What's the one question you wish you knew the answer to before you moved? And for those planning on moving abroad and becoming an expat, what's your biggest dilemma? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. This is a community, and your experience can be the signpost that helps another guy find his way. And if you want more direct, no nonsense advice to thrive as an expat, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I've just got it started. And remember, the ultimate Asia dilemma isn't about choosing a country, it's about choosing what kind of man you're gonna be when you get there. Make your choices wisely.